What's up, guys? Sean here, coming at y'all with a quick little video. Going to be going over some more of the AJ Brown stuff. As much as I tried to avoid it, didn't really want to cover it. It's all over the place, so I figured I'd throw out a couple opinions. I see a lot of back and forth on everything. I see a lot of he said, she said reports coming out, but nobody verified. Nobody wants to put their name next to the report. It's all been kind of hidden. With that being said, enough people have verified certain things that it's definitely got some truth to it. But until everybody's willing to stand by what they're saying, nothing can be considered absolute factual information. So right now, it's all just hearsay. But let's go ahead and dive into a little bit of it real quick. All right, guys. So we wind the clock back a little bit to the Hassan Reddick trade. When this trade went down, a lot of Philly fans didn't understand it. They felt like Hassan Reddick was just fighting for more money, which there were reports of. There was a lot of people going on about that he was a locker room problem. Everybody just kind of like turned on him immediately. Why is Philly going to trade a guy who's had two or three straight, four straight 10-sack seasons, just helped us win a Super Bowl or go to a Super Bowl? You know, a guy who was pretty much what we needed, that staple pass rusher, a guy we could guarantee would get us a sack in a big moment or make a play in a big moment. $21 million cap hit. It just didn't really make sense. Now, with the AJ Brown drama coming out, obviously you guys have heard the stories at this point. They were both messing with the same masseuse. Jalen Hurts knew about it, didn't tell AJ because he's trying to keep the team together and win games, which is exactly what you want your quarterback to do. AJ took it personally. Their friendship started to flee. Hassan Reddick was traded for a future third round pick. The rest is history. You go to the CJ Chancey Gardner Johnson drama. People just immediately said it's his mouth. It's who he is. It's got something to do with him. It's his fault. Again, probably all stems from the AJ stuff. He comes out and he started talking about how everybody in the locker room had beef. They were all going back and forth. Also, more than likely, CJ's one of the people that's been breaking news behind the scenes. Probably been one of the people leaking information, which doesn't really help anything and makes sense to why Howie Roseman would want to get him out of there as soon as possible. You're trying to keep the guys who are focused on the team, worried about Philadelphia, which is exactly what you need to do as a GM. Having all these guys going back and forth isn't really productive towards anything, just going to drive your team into the ground. Exactly why we have Nick Sirianni as a coach. He's keeping the heads up on everything that's going on, stays close to the players, has a core group of guys that he trusts, and when they make a decision, the decision's final. It was the same with Hassan Reddick, same with CJ, same with AJ Brown now. If you're going to cause distractions, it doesn't matter how good of a player you are, how much you get paid, when we paid you, what we paid for you, you're going to end up gone. And then I count on Howie Roseman to take care of all the financial parts of everything, making sure we get draft compensation as we should, and then freeing up space moving forward. Another part of the AJ Brown trade that not a lot of people are really talking about, the Patriots, when they traded for AJ, they took the void year. I believe it's a 2030 something void year. It was like $50 million. Incredible move by Howie. That right there is going to free up so much space. Lane Johnson already has an insane void year coming, and a couple of the other players do as well. The guys that can be extended, you can extend the void year, but it's a problem later rather than sooner. With AJ Brown's void year coming off the books, it's a huge amount of money for all the other guys on our team: Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Jalen Carter. Jordan Davis already got his extension, but it'll help with him. You also still have question marks on the O line. Does Landon Dickerson return to form? Does he get another payday? Cam Jurgens, same thing. Mulata's been rock solid. He'll end up with another extension soon. And then we're going to need a right tackle at some point. So all of that's going to come to head. And you just want to make sure that you're able to take care of it when the time comes. So just another good thing about the AJ trade, one little silver lining at the end of it, that it's one less thing we have to worry about. The one thing I will say more about AJ Brown than anything else, the big surprise is how long this stuff had been going on. The fact that the team allowed it to go on as long as they did is kind of surprising. The fact that it didn't do more damage is kind of surprising, although there are reports coming out and there are some games where AJ had a bad game, Jalen had a bad game. People are now putting that under a microscope, and you're seeing a lot more of AJ not doing what he should have been doing, dropping things he would normally catch. So there's talks of sabotage and stuff like that. It makes you wonder why Howie didn't pull the trigger on a trade sooner. We knew at the end of last year there were reports on it. We kind of dismissed everything. Even up to the trade deadline this year, if there was even a chance that he was holding us back, I would have pulled the trigger as soon as possible. Now, you're hoping Jalen and him can work things out, but the fact that this has been going on since 2023 and we've been to two Super Bowls, one win in those two trips, it's impressive. It is impressive. It speaks to Jalen's leadership. It speaks to the team, how close they all are. To not allow drama like this to immediately rip everybody apart, pull the whole team into two sides, and then just force everybody down a path to where you have to pick and choose who your friends are. It's a business first. This is work. I wish some of the guys kind of took it that way. I'm not a shut up and dribble kind of person. I believe everybody should be able to have their own political ideologies, religious beliefs, stuff like that. But when it comes time to play ball, play ball. If your personal stuff is causing you to run routes in a lackadaisical way or drop things that you wouldn't normally drop because you got stuff on your mind, you have a problem. You've been paid well, you've won a Super Bowl. There's no excuses to go out there and do anything other than the right thing. So that's a little aggravating. It just puts a sour taste in my mouth with this AJ Brown stuff. So many Philly fans have put all their money into him. I understand that not everybody wants to stay here forever, and that's fine. We never expect people to. We watched Dawkins leave. We watched Westbrook leave. If you're old enough, you watched Reggie White leave. We watched McNabb leave. I think I said Westbrook. I did not mean Westbrook. I meant Shady. We watched Shady leave. You know, we've watched so many people come and go over the years. We traded Carson after his MVP-like season got us into the 2017 playoffs, which then Nick Foles was able to win the Super Bowl off of. We fired Doug after one bad year, after he had brought the team back from pretty much oblivion, won us our first Super Bowl. Nobody's safe. It's a business. If you're not willing to do business, you're not going to be here for very long. Okay, guys, just to wrap things up, to get this over with, I'm not mad at AJ. I don't really care about the personal drama. It doesn't affect me. I'm more mad about what happened last year, that he wasn't moved sooner. If it was this big of a problem to where people knew he might be throwing games or he might not be giving it his all, he doesn't need to be on the team. There's nothing to work out at that point. I understand from a business side of things, AJ wanted to go to New England. If things weren't working out here, he had a problem here. He wanted to go somewhere where he was comfortable and familiar. He's familiar with Vrabel, so that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. The fact that we got the compensation that we got for him was even better. It made everything a little bit easier to digest. So with that all being said, let's hope we can put all this stuff to bed. Read the drama moving forward, but ignore it. Hopefully all this dies down. Hopefully I don't have to cover it again because quite frankly, I'm over it. I'm looking forward to OTAs. I'm looking forward to the NBA Finals. And I'm really looking forward to not hearing AJ Brown's name for at least a little while. With that being said, guys, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'll catch you in the next one.